Hello students, today we are going to discuss about computer security threats. Computer security is defined as the security or protection provided to our computer from any kind of damage. The damage can be done through a software, or the damage can be done physically, that is to the hardware. Under that, today we will be discussing about malware. Malware is short form of malicious software. A software is nothing but a set of programs, set of instructions, a set of programs that we write in order to give instructions to the computer. Now the instructions can be given to the computer so that there can be some kind of destruction caused in the computer, and that is called as a malicious software, software with some kind of illegal activity. Now there are different types of malware. Malware are basically classified into different categories depending upon what exactly they do. First thing is the adware. Adware, as the name itself suggests, adware gives you different type, or it is a program or a software which is designed in the form of an advertisement, and when a user clicks on that particular adware, the virus or any kind of worm is installed into the computer and it will corrupt the computer. Next is spyware. Spyware is a special type of software that is designed in order to spy the user's activity, such as what exactly is the user clicking, what are the user passwords, what websites the user is visiting. All these things, all these activities that the user is performing can be monitored with the help of spyware software. So basically, cyber criminals who intend to know the user activity design this kind of spyware software and try to identify or try to monitor the user activity. Next is computer virus. A virus is a special type of a software which when installed in the computer, it can cause several kinds, different types of damages to the computer software. It can corrupt the files, it can replicate, and it can reduce the performance of the system, it can spoil certain, it can cause damage to the hardware also. So cyber criminals basically design these viruses and try to attack the users in different ways by sending computer viruses. Next is a worm. Worm is also a type of a virus. It is a self-replicating virus. That means self-replicating worm. That means it replicates itself. Once a worm is installed into a computer, it has the capability to replicate itself and spoil the computer or infect the files inside the computer. Next is a Trojan. A Trojan horse is a malicious program that misinterprets itself as a legitimate user. That means the software portrays itself as a legitimate software. That means it showcases itself as a legal software, but in fact it is an illegal software. Next is a keylogger. Keylogger initially was designed by software developers and IT professionals to identify keystrokes and accordingly give input or accordingly perform certain actions. Example is a macro that we use in Word document, where we click certain keys and macro will automatically get executed and it will do certain actions or perform certain actions in the Word document. But this is designed, or this is used, this concept is used by cyber criminals, and they are using this keylogger as a virus or a software which will cause damage to the computer when certain keys on the keyboard are pressed by the user. And then the next type of malware is rootkit. Rootkit is nothing but a special type of malware which is used for unauthorized access. So you basically, authorized access is the person who is using a computer, basically the intended user. If somebody is an intended user of the computer, he is called as the authorized user of the computer. And if an unauthorized user, that is the person who is not eligible, the person who is not intended to use a computer and using the computer, is called as an unauthorized. The person who does not have the authority to access certain kind of data is called as an unauthorized user, and unauthorized privilege or unauthorized access to user data is given with the help of this kind of rootkit software tools. Next is phishing. Phishing is basically a kind of attack that cyber criminals make on users by sending spam emails to the users, and they try to steal sensitive data such as user IDs and passwords from the users. And then we have bots. Bots are again designed for a special purpose, like these are automated automated software, software that we generally use where information is automatically given to the user, like for example, when we make a call to an automated telecaller, answers, and we have operations, or we have instructions coming from them. Similarly, bots also are some automated instructions or automated steps that are performed inside a computer, and these bots are designed in such a way by hackers or by cyber criminals that they spoil the computer or infect files inside the computer. Next is ransomware. A ransomware is a special type of a malware which basically locks the locks the user's access to the data. The user cannot access his or her own data, and in order to access his or her own data, user has to pay some kind of an amount to the hacker or cyber criminal in order to gain access back to by the user. So this is called as a ransomware attack. So these cyber criminals basically design a special type of a software. They will attack the victim's computer, and they will lock the victim's computer, and the victim cannot use his or her own computer. In order to gain back the access, they are supposed to pay some kind of ransom. These are some of the different types of malware that are available, or malwares that are designed. Now let us discuss about computer virus in specific. As I told you, virus is a special type of malicious program which self-replicates itself by copying its contents to another program. If one of your file or one of your application is infected with virus, that virus has the capability to replicate itself and spread across to other files inside your computer. Now a virus attack can produce a variety of symptoms. So how do we identify that our computer or our application is basically having a virus, or is it attacked by a virus? Frequent pop-up windows. So when we open websites which are not secure, we keep seeing this feature that we see a lot of pop-ups. So when you are trying to access some data, you keep seeing some kind of pop-ups, and when user clicks on those pop-ups, there is a chance that the virus can be downloaded or installed into the user's computer. Changes in your home page without your intervention, or without you performing any kind of an action, your home page or your desktop will be changed. So once your virus is downloaded into your computer, automatically you will see changes in your home page, changes in how files are saved, where files are saved. Frequent crashes, your system keeps crashing. One of the target or one of the objective of a virus is that the virus keeps replicating itself and it keeps executing itself all the time. So the processor is busy executing the virus program, and your your processor becomes very heavy and it will frequently crash. Your system basically crashes. So you will observe frequent crashes when a virus is installed into your computer. And unusual slow performance of your computer. So your computer performance also slows down because the virus is self-replicating, is busy replicating itself, and is keeping the processor busy or occupied by continuously executing itself. So your performance or your other applications in your computer will not get processor's time, and the processor will not be able to execute the other applications properly. So your viruses will slow down the computer performance also. Then unknown programs that start up when you turn on your computer. So these kind of viruses like boot sector viruses, all those kind of viruses, generally when you start your computer, these viruses also start executing, and you see different kind of actions being performed without users intervention. Unusual activities like password changes. In case of a ransomware attack, as I told you, your passwords can be changed without users notification or without users intervention, and user can be attacked, or user can be basically asked for a ransom to be paid. So your passwords, your file names, all these can be changed by the cyber criminal without the user's knowledge. So these are the frequent changes, or these are some of the symptoms that we can find in our computers, in our computers when we see, or when we know that there is a virus inside our computer. Next, let us try to understand for what reasons viruses are developed. Viruses are basically developed for three major reasons. Majorly they are developed for evil, but some people develop viruses for fun. They just make fun, or they just want to make fun out of their friends, so they just develop viruses. These are also called creepoviruses. And then viruses are developed for evil. So there are viruses which are developed for evil reasons, and people try to attack these users by sending these viruses to the users in different ways and gain some purpose out of that. And then viruses which are created for good also. Some virus creators argue that they are doing good to the users rather than bad to the users. So viruses can be created for good also. Basically, ethical hackers create viruses for a good purpose, for a good reason. Next is classification of computer viruses. Computer viruses are classified into different categories based upon different categories. Here we can see the different types of, or different classifications of computer viruses according to the visibility of symptoms. So according to what kind of symptoms are there, according to the way they spread, according to the exhibition time when they are exhibited, according to the seriousness of the viruses, according to the infected region, which area or which region of the computer are they infecting, according to the memory location, according to the activity, and according to the spread rate. So these are the different classifications of viruses which we will be trying to understand briefly now. Now first is according to the symptoms. Viruses, some viruses do not exhibit any symptoms because the cyber criminal do not want the attacker, or do not want the user to know that the virus is being attacked or the virus is being installed inside the system. So they will silently be there and notice your activities, notice users activities, but they do not display or they do not show any kind of symptoms. Some viruses have a graphic exhibition, that means they show some kind of messages on user screen saying that example, your system is being hacked or your system is being corrupted. These kind of messages will be displayed and the user will get to know that his system is hacked. And then some viruses will show some special kind of exhibition or special kind of behavior. These kind of viruses show, like we have seen the symptoms of viruses, so these symptoms are shown when we when the viruses are installed into your computer. So it could be any of the symptoms like system's performance coming down, or changing in the passwords, or any kind of symptoms being shown. So they basically exhibit some kind of symptoms and the user will know that his or her system is hacked by a virus, attacked by a virus. And then the next category is according to the way they spread. Okay, according to the way they spread, we have discussed about different types of viruses like computer viruses, Trojan horses, backdoor attacks. Backdoor attacks basically are attacks which are attacked on your computer. That means by overcoming the security passwords, credentials, these backdoor attacks can take place. So hackers can make backdoor attacks to your computer and hack into your computer, and basically they overcome the security credentials like your password, PIN security that you provide to your computer. They overcome that and they get into your computer. And then worms. So these can be the way they are spread. Next is according to the exhibition time. When are these viruses exhibiting, or when are these viruses basically activated? Certain viruses activate immediately. As soon as the virus is installed into your computer, the viruses start exhibiting their behavior, they get activated and they start showing out their behavior. This is these viruses are classified into immediately activated viruses. Then we have activated viruses on a certain date. That means these viruses are planned according to a date. They will be exhibiting their behavior on that particular date. So they are time triggered viruses. So they, based upon the time, they trigger and they start activating. And then we have viruses activated on a certain act. So on a certain act, that means when the user performs certain kind of an activity in the system, these viruses will get activated. Like for example, the third time you switch on the computer, or the third time your operating system is loaded, or the third or the fifth time your operating system is loaded. So after the virus being installed, so from that point onwards, after the virus is installed, the fifth time the operating system is activated, then the virus will also get activated. So these are called as viruses activated based on certain act. So these are according to the exhibition time when they are going to be activated. And then according to the seriousness, we have two types. One is non-destructive viruses, one is destructive viruses. Non-destructive viruses come under the category where we use spyware viruses, or where they use ransomware viruses. They do not cause any destruction to the data. The only intention of the cyber criminal is to basically spy on the data of the user, or basically get some money out of the attack, but there is no intention to cause damage. But whereas destructive viruses, they basically are designed to cause some kind of destruction to the data or to the computer that they are attacking. So these can be done by rivals of organizations where they don't want the organization to prosper, so they will just install the virus and destruct the entire data of the organization from the system. So that causes some kind of a destruction to the device. So it can be destructive or non-destructive viruses. Next is according to the infected region. So which region is the virus targeting on? So as soon as the virus is installed into your computer or downloaded into your computer, it basically is designed to basically target a particular region in the computer. It can be a boot sector. Boot sector is basically when your system is loading, when you switch on the computer and when your system starts loading, it affects that particular process of loading all the operating system and all the files into your computer. That boot sector virus can entirely crash your system and damage your system. And then you have file viruses. File viruses basically target individual files, like you can have a file virus in Google Chrome. Google Chrome is an application, so file virus will infect especially Google Chrome, and whenever you use Google Chrome, it behaves differently. And then overwriting viruses basically overwrite the existing files. These overwriting viruses you will see generally in Word documents or document files, where documents where you have certain data and those data are overwritten by some other data, or generally they are overwritten in some other language which we cannot understand. And then you have companion viruses. These viruses create a copy with another file extension. Generally they create a copy with .exe files, which are executable files. So those files, when you try to open, like for example, I have a PPT file in my computer, so a virus is infecting that particular PPT and will create a .exe file with the same name as the PPT file. So that when I open that exe file, the virus is again going to corrupt another file. So these are called as companion viruses, which will create another copy of the virus with basically another file extension. So this is according to the infected region, which region are they infecting, and according to the spread rate, at what rate they are spread. They are fast infectors, that means viruses which infect fast, which execute fast, which basically replicate themselves very fast, and once you open them and infect all the files. And then we have slow infectors, viruses which infect your system or which damage your system slowly. And then we have zoo viruses. These viruses are basically are not spread in the real world. They are just developed for study purpose. And web scripting viruses, this type of viruses basically exploit your web pages or your web browsers. They basically target your web browsers and web pages. So we have, according to the spread rate, we have different types of viruses. And then we are talking about antivirus. Antivirus is a special type of a software that we need to have in our system in order to protect our system from different kinds of virus attacks. Now, the job of antivirus is to detect and also repair the system if the system has any kind of virus installed. So basically, antivirus is a program or a set of programs that are designed to prevent, search for, detect and remove software viruses from our system. Next is functions of antivirus software. So what exactly antivirus software does? We have anti-malware. This component of antivirus basically protects your computer from infection by malicious software. So we have discussed different types of malicious software. This anti-malware component of antivirus software, antivirus package, basically identifies different kind of malicious software that can be downloaded, and it will warn the user system is basically being affected or is basically being trying to install some kind of malicious software. Next, what antivirus does is protection against browser exploits. That means whenever we open a web browser like Google Chrome, we try to open several different websites and web pages. When we open illegal or when we open basically not secure web pages, this our antivirus software tries to identify any kind of illegal activity happening inside our browser because of those not secure, unsecure web pages or websites. Next is antivirus. After protecting or after identifying, the job of antivirus software is to guard your computer. If your computer, like if you attach or if you basically attach any kind of an external device like a pen drive or a hard disk, the first job of antivirus is to scan that particular device and check if there are any virus softwares. If there is any virus found in that particular external device, it is going to remove that virus from the device and then protect your device from being infected. So it basically first identifies, then it is going to scan, that is identify, and then it is going to guard your device from that virus being affected. And then anti-trojan. This anti-trojan, as I told you, Trojan is basically a software that is installed in your computer, like your through spam or through email. So anti-trojan software basically performs an integrity check in your computer. Next is hacking. Hacking is basically a process or is basically a practice by individuals or organizations or nations altogether in order to gain unauthorized access to computer and technology dependent systems. So unauthorized access means accessing the system, accessing a computer or accessing any system without having the authority to access that particular system. So hacking is a process of illegally trying to access the data from a computer or any technology dependent system without the knowledge of the user. Who is called as an hacker? A hacker refers to a person who uses his or her abilities to gain unauthorized access to the systems. Now we have different types of hackers. Ethical hackers are basically legal hackers who hack or who basically hack the hacker systems and try to gain back so in case of a ransomware attack, these ethical hackers come into play and they try to hack the hacker system and get back the access to the data of the organization. And then we have black hat hackers. These are the dangerous hackers who try to hack systems and cause destruction to the systems. And then we have grey hat hackers are sometimes basically they act depending upon the situation. They can either be a white hat hacker at times, and they can also be black hat hackers at times. And then we have hacktivists. Hacktivists are people who basically hack and try to portray their message, or they are basically social activists who are trying to hack systems and try to tell the users that they are going to what they actually want to say. And then types of hacking, we have different types of hacking. Web application hacking, hacking done through web applications. So whenever you try to open a website, if that particular website is not secure, if it is not secure, then the hacker can hack that kind of website and put malicious content into the website. And when user opens that website and tries to click on any link, the web application will be affecting the link, or the click that the user makes can be affecting the user's computer or user's data. Network hacking is where basically hackers trying to hack a network, a computer network, and when hackers hack computer networks, they will be able to see the communication that is happening between clients and servers, see the communication that is happening between different organizations or different systems, and try to cause damage to the systems. Email hacking happens through spam mails, where users receive mails with advertisements in spam mails, where when users click on that particular email or click on a link inside the email, the software is downloaded, malicious software is downloaded into the user's computer, and it can cause damage to the user computer. And one more type of hacking is ethical hacking. Ethical hacking basically hacks the computer, but it hacks for a good reason. So a hacker's computer can be hacked, and it can be, the data that is stolen by the hacker can be gained back. And then we have password hacking, people trying to hack passwords of users and trying to gain illegal access to the account, to the user's data. Password hacking can happen on a computer, can happen on an accounts like Facebook account or Instagram account, and they can use that account for illegal activities. And then computer hacking an entire computer system, or hacking basically a server. If a server is hacked, the entire data of the organization comes into control of the hacker. And then how do we prevent hacking? Hacking can be prevented by following different mechanisms. One is software updates. Outdated software, whenever we are using an outdated software in our computer, it is more vulnerable to hacking, because hackers always try to identify what are the loopholes or what are the drawbacks of a software. So when you do not upgrade your software frequently, hackers can easily hack outdated software or older versions of software easily when compared to updated versions, because updated versions will have more security features. Next is password security. Always having a strong password is very important, because having a strong password which is not easily guessed by the hacker is very important. That provides a better way to protect your system. Using secure websites and web sources. Always use a secure website. Whenever we are searching for information on over internet, always look for HTTPS, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, S, where S stands for secure. So whenever you see a web page with HTTPS, that means it is a secured website, and always try to access data from secure websites, because secure websites do not they basically follow different mechanisms in order to prevent hacking. And using wireless network access, always try not to use open Wi-Fi networks, because they easily open Wi-Fi networks can be easily hacked, and hackers can easily get into your systems through open wireless networks. And protecting against phishing scams. Phishing scams basically are scams that are done through your email spamming. So always never try to open any email, illegal or any suspicious email which you receive. Try to delete them, or never try to open them or click on any of the links that are provided in the suspicious emails. So protecting again against phishing scams. So when you want to prevent hacking, these are the security mechanisms that we need to follow. Always have a strong password, frequently update your software, always use antivirus software in your system, and also use protected and safe networks.